Good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are having a good day. Today is Wednesday, March 22, and we have a few things to get prepared for as today is FOMC. Um, so let's go over what is going to happen today. So we have 7 a.m. already passed mortgage data. At 2 p.m. we have Fed and interest rates decision, and then at 2:30 p.m. we have that Fed Chairman Powell conference for FOMC. So we'll definitely be prepared today for that, and have a list of things to watch, which we'll go over in a second. Other than that, we have GameStop, Nike, and a few other companies that already reported earnings that we will be watching today. As we know, that GameStop did pop up around 50% pre-market or post-market last week or yesterday. This could lead to a possibility of a gap and go. So we'll check it out. We'll see if that's a possibility today. Could definitely have some interest in the morning volatility. So it could be a stock that is strong for us to watch. So other than that, let's get started, and let's keep watch on ES. So ES yesterday, huge pop up to around that 4043 reject spot. So if you guys saw that, this was yesterday. um we rejected, went back down to that 4023 where we picked up strength. Yesterday was sort of the same thing where we kind of pushed up, sold below that 4034, went back down to that 4005, which in last yesterday's pre-market live we said that would be a bounce spot to watch out for. This 4005 worked out perfectly, owned up, and now this 443 was a nice reject, and now we're kind of staying below. So what could be a possibility for today, as far as morning momentum goes? It's likely that we do experience chop, especially as there's um, some fear in what could go on during the FOMC event. It's likely that the interest rates are raised, so we may see some selling the news as people possibly expected that, and things have already been priced in. So we're gonna keep on watch to see if sellers are interested. This whole spot to me, including this 4060 spot, all of it is currently selling zone for me. But as you guys know, we sort of already broke our little trend um, to the high side, so we probably will continue to that 4060 testing, and then this 4090, which, by the way, 4094 is a key spot for me to reject. If we do end up getting there during that FOMC push, that would be possibly the spot I grab some puts at. Yeah, as far as anything goes, this 4043 held pretty nicely. Looks like pre-market we retested a little before, but then sold off about $1 before. So if we get to that price again and then we see some momentum loss at that 4043 spot, then of course it'd be good to grab some shorts. As far as anything goes related to calls, if we do start to sell off, I'd like to see that 4005 act as another bounce spot. If we do sell off harshly, then that 3975 to 3983 has worked as a great liquidity spot in the past, possibly even gaining some volume there, pushing us up. So we'll see how we do react. As you guys know, yesterday institutional sellers were around this 4025 spot. So around this spot we saw a lot of institutional action, and then we ended up kind of just pushing. But in the morning it started off as take profits. So we're going to be watching that same spot again, this 4025 to 4023, little $2 zone, to see how is it that these market makers react around that price. So yeah, we're going to keep close watch and really stay careful of today, because you guys do know, not only is the IV high, so the contracts are going to be pretty expensive, but also the volatility and the market movement is also, it has a possibility of being pretty active. So yeah, let's go on to SPX. Let's check out what are we doing. So as you guys know, 4017 price I've been waiting for a while is approaching. 4017 mass seller spot. In fact, I should probably mark this as an inflection spot, but I have it highlighted yellow as it is my favorite level in SPX at the current moment. So 4017 is a massive rejection spot, an area where lots of sellers are active at. So if we get to that price again this week, or today specifically, hopefully in the morning we push up around a few points, especially with the gap up, that is possible. I'd like to see me to grab some puts around that 4017 spot, short it down, scalp it as we go down, and take some profits. But apart from that, we also have that 3974 level. Yesterday seemed to have acted as a bounce spot, which is perfect. If we get back down there again, of course we're going to watch for some buyers, but also we have this gap to fill, so be aware of that. Which just means that 3948 is likely, has a possibility of getting filled if sellers are stronger today, which could be possible. So we'll keep that on watch for puts. So 4017 main spot for rejects. That's what I'm really going for. As far as anything else goes, if we do pick up strength in 4MC, pushing us around 50 points or something exaggerating, we'll get to that 4090 level. I will be grabbing shorts at 4090 and I will be swinging it. That's the key spot for me. That's my inflection point. This is an area not only is a gap fill, but it's also a strong volume selling area. And so I will be grabbing some shorts there. But focused intraday action, we're going to look at that 4017. And if anything, we do pop up 4036, of course, we'll be on watch as well. Other than that, we have an idea of what could go on. Gap fill, of course, is another key part. So we'll move on. We'll go down to, we're going to go on to GME first. So GME, massive move up. We got our pre-market high, including post-market high at 27.54. Now, we're going to look at a possible strategy here that I haven't done in a while, but with 4MC and a stock that has moved up and has lots of interest, it is likely that this will be perfect for this strategy, and this strategy is called the gap and go. Gap and go opens the 5-minute first candle above the pre-market, post-market high, and it has lots of volume and continues higher. This strategy is usually good on large cap earning stocks, but we're dealing with GME, so we're going to test it out. I'm not going to size too high, although the contracts are going to be expensive. We can scalp up. So gap and go, if we can get above that 27.54 market opens and take some scalps up, that could be a possibility of a great return. Usually gap and goes are more affected on the contract than on the stock, which just means that you'll see a larger profit on the specific option change. So that's what we're going to look for. Just going to mark down some levels of possible targets. Gap and goes are pretty quick. You get it in and out. It's just following that morning push and continuation after earnings, and then people eventually take profit around 10-20 minutes after their morning push, or even some days gap and goes just go on to a close. So we will see how we do today. But yeah, 27, we're gonna keep that on watch. We're gonna have that on alert, and we're gonna move on to our list. So before I begin, somebody asked, how do you watch where buyers and sellers are? First off, just keeping note of where they were active on throughout the week, month, or day through, you can use Bookmap, you can use basic volume on the day, but just keeping in mind what levels experience the most amount of volume. That would be your point of control for that specific day. And then you keep in mind that over a period of time, where is an area that you've seen tons of selling volume, tons of just a pattern of sellers at this price, that would be a key price to watch out for. So for that would be my inflection point, or key level of some sort, especially if it matches up with the resistance that works together, especially if it works with all the S&P 500 stocks, then you know that's a key level to watch for rejects. That's what I use to watch for high a day rejects and or bounces. So that's how you watch for key buyers, key sellers. It's over a period of time. So we'll move on to Apple. We're going to look at what is going on in Apple. Apple looks like we broke our 157.44, and we broke out here on Monday. We pushed up, and then we ended up continuing. As you guys know, this was on my newsletter list. We were going to grab calls above this 157.44. It looks like it worked out yesterday. I didn't really take it. I believe that morning chop here at 157.44 was a little too choppy for me. And then we ended up pushing. Our target is 160. This is just an ascending triangle daily frame. We have a lot of levels to watch out for, but that 160 looks like it's a possibility of us filling today, so we'll keep that on watch to see if the stock reverses there or something occurs there. We have this overall trend that we'll watch to see if it breaks in the next few months or days. So if we break below, then you know that we're short and the market trend is going down. But at the moment we're up, so we're going to keep that in watch, keep that on mind. So yeah, let's move on. We got our Costco. This is looks like Costco has been really slow. We've had massive movements last week, including the week before. So far it looks like we've been following some retracements, not a lot, but our trend is up. We're approaching that high where we've seen sellers in the past, so I'm going to mark this down. This spot overall, we've seen sellers there in the past, so expecting sellers there again is likely, unless we push higher, we break this retracement, then our next level will be around this 1509 spot. But yeah, we see our trend looks like it's very slow, very choppy, so if we do sell off, it's likely that we reject there. But to be honest, in sector game, we're going to look at consumer sector to be one of the active stocks of volatile days. So for FOMC, this will be something we'll watch on for today. Specifically, this or Walmart or Target, those consumer stocks do have volume that tend to come in times of volatility. So we'll keep that on watch. If we do break above it, or if it's take profits, we'll see. But for now, we have this level, and we'll look into it. But I did see that GME popped up. We're going to continue watching these levels, these pre-market highs, as long as they stay within a specific resistance or key pre-market level. If they keep rejecting that on the pre-market, then that's what we'll look for. But yeah, let's get on to NVIDIA. So NVIDIA, as you guys know, we had our 1 week frame. I believe it was a rising wedge, including a inverse head and shoulders. Broke out. I mean, we sort of broke the top, no longer squeezing lots of volume in this week, and now we're approaching this 266, which is just a around 2 to 3 point rejection. Not a lot going on there, but we do have this whole space where we've seen rejects in the past, and sort of looks like, if you kind of look on the 1 day, we've starting to see some, after massive amount of volume, we're starting to see those wicks come in indecision candle right here, and now we're going to open up a new day up, gapping up, but overall we're starting to see that long wicks to the top side, which to me that shows sellers. So like an example could be right around here. We start seeing wicks to the top side after this massive push up. Although it took a while, we started to see that as a trend for that high, and eventually we sold off fairly enough to follow the trend, which was up. So sort of the same thing could happen. We could chop for days, or we could chop for a few more hours and then just sell off. And then we'll kind of see how we react. We could use this as a support. We could use the previous data support. Overall, we're looking for zones, and that's something that it could be a possibility up here, including with that 266 becoming a key spot. So yeah, we'll keep that on watch, specifically this 266. But anything else, let's kind of look for some possible setups here. Let's see. This resistance here, possibly something including pre-market high, so we can use the open range breakout strategy, which is just pre-market high trading, to follow up, grab some calls, scalp the 266 3-point move. I'm sure in the option chain that could lead to a nice return on delta. So I'll keep on watch on this pre-market high. If we can get a scalp on that, that'd be nice. $3 move isn't bad, especially for a open range breakout strategy. I'm gonna have to put this on a lower time frame. Here we go. So yeah, this open range breakout strategy could be good for this specific stock. We'll keep it on watch. We'll see how we do, and we'll move on to the next. So yeah, let's keep that on watch. And let's move on. We got our Tesla. So Tesla, as you guys know, yesterday this was a big watch for me. For first off, rejects on 192.64, which it worked out on that day, but also calls above that 188.04 break, which happened intraday as well. So yesterday, Tesla had the relative strength, being up 8% on the day. This was partially due to some news of them being added onto a specific list that puts them as a big investors watch. So we're going to watch to see how Tesla reacts. I'm going to remove all these drawings. In fact, I'm going to be watching if we break this higher high. So pre-market high is currently above this key high day. So we're going to watch to see if we break it. If we do, then of course expect more strength. If we don't and we see volatility around there, which is likely, we're going to mark a zone in a moment of where that is expected. We're going to look for some sellers, some profit takers is what we're really looking for. But after this massive strength from yesterday, we got to keep this on watch for sure today, as this sell-off could be very profitable. So yeah, we're going to watch this zone possibly here. Overall, we're marking a spot where we see sellers in the past. So we got our selling candle here. We got our wicks here. Overall chop, but we will be watching for some sellers, especially up here as we approach this spot over here. Other than that, Tesla, we know that it's a spot where we're starting to see some momentum loss. So we'll keep it slowly on watch. But yeah, let's move on. Meta, not a lot here on Meta that I like. Meta hasn't really been a stock that I'm too fond of trading. But we're gonna watch to see if this zone becomes a spot of sellers or if it becomes a spot of volatility. So at the moment, we're seeing our momentum loss. We have our wicks over here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wicks, some of which are pre-market, but also opening moves. So notice the trend is currently down at open. So today could be down at open. This is actually, Meta is a stock that loves to follow trends. So we got days of open, 3-day trend, and then eventually gap up, sell, and then buy. It's a really trendful stock that I like to trade in terms of swings. But as far as scalps go, we're gonna really have to be careful of what we do here. So we'll see how we react. I kind of like this support we can have on watch. Could be a nice watch to see if we break below this small trend, 1 day, 2 day, 3-day trend, and then we break that support, we grab some puts, and we make our bread there. So yeah, I'll keep that on watch. That's not a bad addition to the list. And we'll move on. There we go. So we got our Amazon position, or our Amazon idea that we've been watching for quite some time. As you guys know, this Amazon volatility has been insane these past month, March, including February. We've had massive volatility around this 93 spot, and we eventually gained volume, pushed up, rejected that 100, and now we're back at that again, where we're sort of rejecting that 100 pre-market. So with that being said, you can watch for some open range breakouts. The only thing with playing that strategy here specifically is the risk in sellers is just super tight. As we can see, we have a key level at 101.63, massive sellers at this 101.60 spot. Overall, this whole area is just filled with sellers. Whole area just filled with sellers, including that. So you're tight, your range for continuation, very tight. You're probably going to see some sell off. Yesterday, Amazon was a stock that also had some strength. Opening actually was pretty relatively stronger after the morning move down. Um, so we'll see if this is a continuation or if this is a sell off. So far, the trend on our list is we're in key levels as far as resistances and supplies go. So what is the possibility is that will the market work together to reject as a whole, or are we going to um, sell off? Are we going to just stay above? And that's something I'm going to be watching to see if there's interest in the whole market as a whole to do that. Because as we know, we are at that 4043 spot, key spot to reject. So market working as a whole, are we rejecting as a whole? That's a possibility. So yeah. We got this key level again to watch out for. Open range breakout is a possibility. A little risky, but for a $1 to $2 move, our delta could possibly outweigh our profit potential in the specific contract. So we'll see if this is something that we can take with us. So yeah, let's move on. Let's look at AMD. AMD is a stock that's at a key level 97.59 that I really like to see sellers at. But there's also specifically this one level that I also want to see us get to in the future, which is that 104.20 spot. This is a key supply for me. After breaking out this trend, we got some calls, scalped it, but now we're continuing that trend, and we want to see this 104 reject. We're seeing some volatility on this 97, but if we can get to that 104, that'd be nice. AMD has had some great strength this past week, with this week starting to see some momentum loss, including some sellers. As we can see, it was one of the relatively weaker stocks of yesterday after the strength that Nvidia specifically had, which Nvidia had its Nvidia day yesterday, for those of you who missed it. Surprisingly, seeing AMD sell off like that is could lead to some analysis for today being we can sell off lower, which by the way, we haven't really hit that 92.93 spot, so we haven't hit a lower low, but we have that possibility of going lower if we break it. So what we're looking for overall, we have our momentum loss, we have our little curvature, sell spot. Now what we're looking for is after breaking out or having this higher, lower high, lower high, we're looking for that trend to go lower, where now we can grab some shorts and then scalp it to some key levels if the market follows specifically that sector, just as we're going to watch AMAT for that as well. AMAT rejecting supply, we're starting to see that trend follow, where we're going to look for the supply or demand as a price target in the future, all because we have falling wedge, including mass sellers at this whole supply spot. So that's another semiconductor stock that we can watch out for the put side. There's a lot that we can look for, but I do like this one as well. So that about goes for our list. These are the main stocks I usually watch on the day. We could keep an eye on Microsoft. Microsoft has a lot of volatility around the spot, specifically a seller spot. We ended up breaking up, which we also have another zone up there, but I want us to stay below this as long as we can at the moment to see some momentum loss in the market. But yeah, we also have Disney, not a lot else, so I'm probably gonna call it here. And we'll trade smart, we'll trade safe, and move on today with some good gains. So hope you guys enjoyed today's pre-market session. If you did, let me know down below, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace out.